There comes a time in every franchise's journey when comfort gives way to discomfort, when tough choices stare a team dead in the face, demanding an answer. The Miami Dolphins are at that crossroads. It's not a subtle moment. It's not one you can ignore. And if you listen carefully, past the off-season fluff, past the mock drafts and free agency predictions, you'll hear the undercurrent of something bigger. Tyreek Hill. Trade talks. A decision that could reshape everything. Channing Crowder, former Dolphins linebacker and now co-host on WQAM, didn't just suggest it, he declared it. Miami should move on from Hill. Get ahead of the decline. Quietly shop him at the NFL Scouting Combine. See what's out there, and recover some of what they gave up to get him. The message was clear. The smart teams, the ones built to last, they don't wait. They act. They see the warning signs before the fall. And in this league, history favors those who know when to let go. The New England Patriots, love them or hate them, mastered it. They never got sentimental. They never paid for past production. They moved off a player before the decline hit, not after. It's ruthless. It's harsh. But it's how dynasties stay afloat. And Miami, for all its flash and firepower, is still looking for that kind of longevity. So, the question lingers. Should the Dolphins do it? Should they really entertain the idea of moving on from a generational talent, from the very player who transformed their offense into one of the most feared units in the league? On the surface, it feels unthinkable. Hill is the most explosive weapon Miami has had in years, maybe ever. His speed changes games in an instant. Defenses fear him. His presence alone forces coordinators to adjust everything. When he's on the field, the Dolphins are different. But Crowder didn't bring this up out of nowhere. He knows what's coming. Hill turns 32 soon. That number doesn't scare you if we're talking about a quarterback or an offensive lineman. But a speed receiver? The kind of player who relies almost entirely on that burst, that extra gear? That's a different story. Speed fades. Bodies slow down. It's inevitable. You don't get faster as you get older. You get slower. Crowder said. It's the brutal truth nobody wants to face. Not Hill. Not McDaniel. Not the fans who have fallen in love with what this offense can do when the cheetah is at full stride. But that's just the football side of it. The financial reality? That might be even more pressing. Miami isn't in a comfortable cap situation. The numbers don't lie. With the salary cap set at $279.2 million, the Dolphins are hanging just under the limit. But that's with only 47 players under contract. They're in the bottom 6 in terms of cap health. The teams in worse shape? The Falcons, Seahawks, Bills, Browns, and Saints. Not exactly a reassuring group to be among. And Hill's contract. It's massive. It was reworked last summer, locking in guaranteed money for 2025 and 2026. At the time, it made sense. Keep the window open. Maximize the current roster. But now it's a burden. Crowder pointed to another Miami superstar, Jimmy Butler of the Heat. The argument? Miami held on too long, let his value slip, and now they're left in a tough spot. The same thing can't happen with Hill. Trade him while he still commands a return. Before the decline. Before it's too late. There's a potential suitor already lined up, at least in theory. Washington. A team in desperate need of a true playmaker opposite Terry McLaurin. A team that could be bringing in Jaden Daniels as their franchise quarterback. A team that could use a veteran star to make life easier for a young signal caller. The fit is clean. The logic checks out. But does Miami actually have the stomach for it? This is the part where emotions get in the way. Hill isn't just a player. He's an identity. The Dolphins' entire offensive philosophy revolves around speed, around stretching the field, around breaking defenses before they have a chance to adjust. Taking Hill out of the equation isn't just about losing a receiver. It's about reshaping everything. And yet, there's something unsettling about how the last few months have played out. After Miami's season-ending collapse, Hill let something slip. I want out. It was brief. It was walked back. But it was said. The kind of comment that doesn't come from nowhere. Then there's the injury. The Instagram reel that showed his left hand wrapped. The quiet confirmation from Mike McDaniel that Hill had surgery after the season. It wasn't a broken wrist, but a ligament issue. Significant enough to require a procedure. McDaniel tried to downplay it, but the reality is impossible to ignore. Hill just had his least productive season since his rookie year. He played through pain. He wasn't quite himself. And if you go back to certain moments, the Derek Stingley Jr. interception in Week 15 against Houston, the rare instances where he didn't quite win those downfield battles, you start to wonder,